Cheeseburger07 here, and this is going to be another video for the Rant series. And just before I start, I don't mean to offend anybody. Like, you'll see what I mean. I'm not showing it. I'm trying not to show any bias, you know. And like I said, you'll see what I mean. But the topic I want to rant about today is old people drivers. And let me start off by defining what I consider what age group I'm talking about that makes me angry. I'm not talking about like 40-year-old, 50-year-olds, heck, even 60-year-olds mostly. I'm talking about, like, you know, late 60s, 70s, 80s, those kind of old people that are still driving, you know, vehicles, mammoth vehicles at that. They get on my nerves. Now, the reason I say I don't show bias is because I'm also teenage drivers also make me angry, extremely angry. Also, just equally as angry, you know. And you know, they're both things are dangerous to a society. But anywho, you know, I work at a grocery store in town, and I see all the old people, you know, and most of them are very nice, you know, and you know, it's whatever. But you know, when I'm outside, like on breaks, and you know, or just outside in general in the parking lot, and I see, like, you know, all these old people driving these, you know, SUVs and huge cars. To be honest, and the same reaction is when I see, like, young kids, you know, like 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds driving, you know, in parking lots, and texting and driving. Honestly, it scares the shit out of me. Oh, Ohio roads. Oh, okay. It scares the shit out of me, and pardon my language, but it just does. It's just, old people like that should not be driving, okay? You know, and young kids like that should not be driving. You know, I think that 16 is too young as far as maturity level goes to be owning and operating a vehicle. And I also believe that if you're 75 years old with Alzheimer's, then you should not be driving also. And I've seen that. Trust me, I have. I've seen people walk in who, you know, old people who can barely walk, which is fine. You know, I mean, it's not fine, but it's normal for that to happen. And I see them, and I help them out with their groceries or whatever, and they get in the car by themselves and drive off. I'm like, that scares the shit out of me. You know, I just, and it's scary because they're a danger to everyone else. You know, I follow old people all the time. You know, I live, like, in an area that's, like, you know, it's crowded with old people, you know, and I don't, you know, it's just driving around scares me because I see, like, people like that, like in trucks like that, like old people, and they'll just continue to creep out as I'm coming, and you know, most of them do eventually stop. Some of them do pull out in front of you, and it's just like they don't even look, you know, and I know that you know, there are drivers in every age group that does that, but I'm saying it's what I see, you know, it's mostly what I see, and you know, teenagers do the same thing. It's just because they're inexperienced. Old people do it because they're physically not able to pay attention like they used to, and you know, they drive so slow. You know, and I've heard people argue, you know, oh, there's no sense. You know, speed limit is just that. It's a speed limit. You know, you don't even have to go that fast. But yeah, but when it becomes, you know, unsafe to not go the speed limit, that's what makes me mad. If you're on a highway and you're doing 45 miles an hour, that is unsafe because you got people coming at you at 65 miles an hour, and you know, here you guys are going to get the preview just how retarded my town is where I live. I mean, just as far as the road quality, this isn't even the bad part. But yeah, it's just like, you wonder, what would it be like if we were to say implement a law that, as soon as you turn 16, yeah, you can get your license, but say every 4 years, instead of every 4 years how you get your, at least as in Ohio, every 4 years you have to get your picture taken for your driver's license and update any information. We should just, and I know it would cost a lot to do so, and that's mainly the problem, but I think like every 4 years we should also retest people for their licenses. Make them go out and drive and see if they're even capable of, driving. It would just be that much more safer for everybody. And, it just would be. But, of course, you'd have to hire, guys to be in charge of that and blah, blah, blah. And that does get expensive. Oh my God, this dude just ran a red light. Wow. Luckily nobody died. But, yeah, so here's a big hole. But anywho, yeah, that's my rant. What do you guys think? I mean, I don't know how it is like in other countries and anything, but, okay, see, I just don't understand. Oh, that's an old person too. See, I just don't understand this. They're not even, like, in the right lane. And the worst combination, I think, is just like that. Old people driving and texting or talking on the phone. That's like the ultimate apocalyptic event that could happen. And, oh, he's turning right, okay. So yeah, I'm not being biased towards old people because I honestly feel the same way about young people. I just think, throughout everybody's life, I think every 4 years you should just have to retake the test, and that would solve a lot of problems, but you can't do that obviously, but, it would be, I think everybody would agree that it would clear the streets up a little bit. Because a lot of people would fail. I probably would fail. I don't know. Depends on how hard the test is. If they just do the test like they always did, like when I took my test, which was nothing, I could pass it no problem. But so yeah, let's see what you guys think about that. That's something that's always bugged me, and it's going to continue bugging me. So, alright guys, I'm at school now, so I'll hopefully see you guys down the road, and make sure this guy that's going the wrong way doesn't kill me. That's a girl, what do you expect? I don't know where to turn, like, oh my god, where do I turn? Okay, alrighty guys, we'll see you guys down the road.